GOP strategist Julio Rivera, an author, speaker of podcasts, and host of Pro-Life, mother of 10, Elizabeth Johnston. Good to see you. Miss Elizabeth, you're a mother of 10, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
So you have time to talk to me right now? About 2 minutes, I imagine. Just a little bit of time.
No, I here.
Well, let's get to it. If you could react to that, you just heard Joy Behar and others on the View weigh in. Clearly, their opinions do make some headlines. What are your thoughts when listening back to that playback?
It's amazing that they are spinning this narrative that to end abortion is an anti-woman concept. Abortion is the single most anti-woman exploitative industry of our lifetimes, an industry that provides cover for men, while they exploit women, knock them up, go drive them to the abortion clinic, and do not care for the woman or the baby afterwards, is the single most exploitative anti-woman industry. And the Marxists like Behar have brilliantly utilized psychological warfare to dupe the globe, basically, that abortion is pro-woman, and nothing could be further from the truth.
Julio Rivera, also in that soundbite, Behar goes on to say where they will attack next. Does the Supreme Court work like that? Do they look through cases and say, no, let's go ahead and we're going to challenge this one and this one? Is that how that works?
No, absolutely not. And I think the legality, when you talk about protecting the constitutional rights of the unborn, they're still human beings. They still deserve constitutional rights. And it makes it a completely different legal argument. The only thing that I see as worrisome potentially is the timing here. Should this go through in the summer, which I certainly hope for, I think it'd be a great victory for the pro-life movement. But what it's going to do is it's going to give bulletin board material to the left for this election. You're going to potentially see an unprecedented amount of women voting in this election, potentially independents, moderates, maybe unfortunately going to side of the Democrats here. And I don't want anything to upset the apple cart, because I think that we have a good chance as Republicans to win big this November.
Well, many wonder what the goal was of this leak so far. One, you don't know who leaked it. And number two, what was the real motivation, as the outcome of this case would have come out before the midterms regardless. So what was the motive? And if it was to deter the justices, perhaps it may get the opposite effect. It may strengthen them to stand strong to what they believe. I'll play this for you as well. Again, as we focus on the media, how that reaction is playing out. Here is CNN.
There are many rights that are protected that we as citizens enjoy, many freedoms and rights that are not explicitly mentioned in the Constitution. And my biggest fear is that this is not the end. This is the beginning of the evisceration of many of the rights we enjoy today, such as the right to privacy, the right to contraception.
Elizabeth, your response to that take?
Watching how feminists are exploding right now at the thought of not being able to dismember children shows us that this truly is their sacrament, that this is not merely political, but a spiritual war. I have never seen Elizabeth Warren melting down in tears and rage like we saw yesterday all over the media, all because babies can't be torn limb for limb. If this doesn't make us mourn and pray for a turnaround for the brokenness and darkness in the hearts of Americans, nothing will.
Final thoughts to Julio. Again, I can't say this clearly enough. This has been a controversial issue for decades. We all know this on this panel. But there's another facet of this story, and that is the leak. And it seems to be these networks are covering the outrage of the potential outcome, and these networks are covering the leak of the courts. Why is this so divided? Why is the leak also not a major concern amongst all party lines? Julio, final thoughts.
I think it most certainly should be seen as a really important, aspect of this. You got to protect the justices. You got to protect the sanctity of the Supreme Court for them to feel that they can make the decisions that jive with what they are ideologically and for the reasons that they went on. But the one thing that's good, this will hopefully be a reprieve from the genocide of the abortion industry in the United States. You talk about the black community staying at 11% of the population for the last 100 years. Half of about all abortions are black women, even though they're outnumbered 5-1 by white women. So, I mean, this is an abortion factory, and it's a for-profit business over there at Planned Parenthood, and this is hopefully the end of it.
All right, we'll continue to follow that and more. Elizabeth has got some work to do. She's got to get back. Otherwise, we continue talking. Elizabeth Johnston, thank you so much. Julia Rivera, good to see you as well.